Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Wadi Septiandriza Putri, student of English Education 2017, State University of Makassar. In this meeting, I will explain about narrative text. Let's talk about narrative text. In this lesson, we'll explain the three elements in narrative text. These elements are core subject to study when you are learning English in high school. For three elements in narrative for learning English are 1. The definition. The definition is what a narrative text is. 2. The generic structure. The generic structure, how a narrative text is structured. 3. The example of narrative text. The example of narrative text commonly about fable, legend, myth, fairy tales, and love story. Now let's begin with the first discussion. Definition of narrative text. What is narrative text? Many students simply answer that question that narrative text is a story. The answer is not wrong, but we have to enlarge our understanding on the definition of narrative text. Many experts define that a read of text is the story with problem, so it's understandable that some story can be among the characters. Now you have understood the definition of narrative text? If you have, then let's continue the future lesson narrative structure. Generic structure of narrative text. The structure here refers to the writer while in arranging his paragraph into the whole meaningful story. Narrative text is written to attract and hold the reader's attention. To reach such goal, the writer usually arranges the paragraph into beginning, middle, and ending part. In detail, there are one orientation. It sets the scene where and when the story happened. It also introduces the participant of the story. 2. Complication. Complication, it tells the beginning of the problem which leads to the crisis. Commonly, the problem appears due to one or more of three factors. There are natural conflict, social conflict, or psychological conflict. 3. Resolution. Resolution is where the problem resolved. It can be happy ending or sad tragic one. Now you should understand what and how a narrative text is. Let's continue to see a very short example of narrative text. The example of narrative text. A story of the ant and the grasshopper. In a field on summer day, a grasshopper was hopping about, chirping and singing into its heart content. An ant passed by, bearing along with great toil an ear of corn he was taking to the nest. "Why not come and chat with me?" said the grasshopper, "instead of toiling and moiling in the way." "I'm helping to lay up food to the winter," said the ant, "and recommend it to you to the sun." "Why bother about winter?" said the grasshopper. "We have got the plenty of food at present." But the ant went on its way and continued its toil. When the winter came, the grasshopper had no food and found itself dying of hunger, while it saw the ants disturbing everyday corn and grain from the stores they had collected in the summer. Well, do you know why that story can be labeled as a narrative text? Now, let's see the structure to prove it. Generic structure of the ant and the grasshopper story. The first paragraph is what we call orientation. It's the first information of the participant inside the story. From this paragraph, we see that ant and the grasshopper are the participant. They were in the field on summer's day. The second paragraph describes a little complication. It's a little debate between the ant and the grasshopper. It happened when the ant collected some food for future stock, while the grasshopper thought it was nonsense. The story complication is written based on a social conflict. A complication should be added. We see in the last paragraph. We know that by saying praise when the winter came, the grasshopper found itself dying of hunger. The writer chose the ant as the winner. Okay, that's all from the material today. If you have question, text me on WhatsApp. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.